everybody, it's Heather and welcome to my channel, Mystic Musings. Today is a spooky Sunday upload and I wanted to talk about something that is super creepy in my opinion, not necessarily paranormal but really disturbing. So in 2014 in Gary, Indiana, this guy, Donald Vann, decided to open his home as a haunted house attraction. Now, a little bit of background information. One, around this time, police for, I think, 5 years had been looking for a serial killer. They had found, over the course of many years, about 27, I might be too high on that number, about 27 bodies, and they knew that it had to be the work of the same guy because they all had one thing in common, which was it was as if they had all been crucified. They had the markings of a crucifixion. So they couldn't find anybody, which makes me feel really uncomfortable, but they had, I guess, not really any leads. They didn't, I mean, they hadn't found him, so anyway, so fast forward, in Gary, Indiana, they have around like the 10,000s-ish number of abandoned homes. So there's no shortage of them. You know, if you just feel like squatting somewhere, Gary, Indiana. But this guy opened up his house as a haunted house attraction. So these people went in, and I feel like, first of all, I never would have pulled up to a house that was clearly not actually lived in and be like, oh, yes, this guy lives here. Oh, what? Anyway. So they pulled up and they all get out, and clearly some of them have to be having some second, thoughts at this point, like maybe this is a terrible idea. What do I know? So they go in, and the first thing that everyone who was there said that they noticed is the smell. And that would have been yet another moment that I would have been like, nope. And I would have left. But they actually just assumed that it was kind of part of it, that it was maybe like some sort of stink bomb or something. And if I go to a haunted house attraction, like, yes, I want to be scared, but I don't want it to smell to the point that I'm like nauseated. That to me is not scary. That's just gross. Anyway, so they go and it smells terrible. And this guy, Donald Vann, he leads them downstairs. Again, all aboard the nope train. No. But they follow him downstairs, and there are these corpse dummies all along the wall. He's got them hanging everywhere. And if I was one of these people and I had actually made it all the way downstairs, I probably would have been the one to be like, oh, I'm gonna touch it. Because someone went up to one of them and like poked at it and realized like, not so much dummy as like a real actual dead person. So they ran upstairs, called the police. The police, in the course of just a few minutes really, got like 50 phone calls. And it turned out that he had saved some of his victims to be displayed in this haunted house, and once again they all had markings as if they had been crucified. And he said, that he wanted to be caught. He wanted it to be over, and that's actually, not an unheard of thing for serial killers. A lot of times they get bored with it, they get tired of it, whatever, but they want it to end, but they don't want to just like turn themselves in and say like, hey, I'm a murderer. So he wanted to be caught, but he wanted to be remembered. Basically, he wanted to be famous, and I mean, clearly it worked because I'm talking about it, other channels have talked about it, because it's just so unreal that people like this, because the thing is that if you take all of this away and you just are like, yeah, so this guy killed a bunch of people and then he hung them up in his house and opened a haunted house, like, yeah, it sounds creepy, but it also sounds like it would be a terrible horror movie. Like, it would be one of those that was super predictable. It would be super predictable. You know, you would, the whole time he would just be like, "Why are you going into that house? Why? That's so stupid." What? No one would do that in real life. They would. They did. It's a real thing. And I don't know. It's easy for me to sit here and be like, I would never. Nope. I would pull up and see that this was clearly an abandoned house, and I wouldn't be that dumb. But I also, like, if I'm gonna be really honest, I probably would have pulled up and been like, wow, this guy actually got an abandoned house. He is committed. And I probably would have really respected that. And so maybe, I guess I'm gonna have to recant my former statement. I probably would have gone into. He admitted to, obviously, killing the people that were in his home, but I think that there were still 17 murders or so that he hadn't yet owned up to. But this was just 2014. I mean, that's also pretty crazy. Isn't there's a movie that existed, I think before that, where there were actual bodies. What was that movie? Do you remember that movie? Can you tell me what that movie was? Did I make that movie up? I'm pretty sure it was a thing. Or was it a carnival? I don't know. But I think that's a thing that existed. Talk about it. I think it's just so crazy. It also is kind of like, I hate to talk about it because that's what he wanted. Like, he wanted everyone to know about him and what he did. How could you not? How could you not talk about it? And I feel like, okay, so that was 2014. We haven't yet had our 2015 Halloween. I mean, I get more excited about Halloween than Christmas. Like, I'm already shopping. I'm ready. But I wonder if there's gonna be a stigma, or, you know, if someone like, I don't know, people spend a lot of money to make like elaborate haunted houses. There was some special on it on TV last year, and I was just amazed at the time and the money that people spend on these just home tours. Like, so it's not even their house. Like, they build like spec homes basically and just have all this stuff going on. It's amazing. But, you know, I wonder, like, are people, especially in Indiana, going to be freaked out, like, to go to a haunted house? Or, you know, are people just going to be like, obviously this would never happen again? But I mean, like, copycat killing is a thing, and, you know, it's not unheard of for copycat killings to happen. But I mean, especially something like that. Like, if you were a killer or an aspiring killer, you know, and you really wanted to make a name for yourself, like, in a few years from now, I can absolutely see somebody just, like, doing this all again. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a really terrible prediction to make, but I can see it. So, anyway, let me know what you think. If you think that, you know, it was creative, should we? We probably shouldn't compliment him. Let me know what you think about his craziness, because, I mean, it was certainly crazy. And let me know if you've ever been to a haunted house where there was, like, props that you were, like, pretty certain could have been real. I think, oh, maybe it's a creepypasta that I'm thinking about, where there's like is it a Disney ride creepypasta? Oh, I think it is. They're on, like, Splash Mountain, and it, oh crap, what? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, but if you've ever been somewhere where, you know, you looked at something and were like, I'm not certain that that's a prop. Because I feel like surely it's happened before where, you know, hopefully it turned out to be totally fake, but maybe, you know, you weren't positive. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We will see each other again next Freaky Friday. You know, if you would like for me to, if you would like to hear about the victims and, like, how he went about getting them and stuff, let me know. I'm happy to make a more in-depth video, but I just wanted to talk about the general crazy, spooky freakiness of it today. But anyway, so let me know if you'd like to see that. Let me know if you don't want to hear about serial killers, if you just want to hear about paranormal, creepy things. I'm happy to cover it all because it all fascinates me. But anyway, thank you again for watching, and I will see you Friday. Bye.